Did you believe every time someone in a Call of Duty lobby told you that they slept with your mom? Then why do you believe that people on the internet are telling you that you squatted high?
These days, hitting a PR, posting a video of it on Instagram for the boys' glory, and the little hit of dopamine you get when your post starts to surge go hand in hand. But this experience is a double-edged sword. The more eyes on the video, the more opinions about your video pop up. If you double the views, chances are you also double the negative feedback, which sticks out to us way more than the confirmation of our own positive feedback. Your mind and body stress over this, and your body cannot differentiate the difference between mental, physical, or emotional stressors. So, by stressing over the negative comments and opinions of strangers you'll likely never meet in your own lifetime, you're directly impacting your gains and progress in a negative fashion. So here is a good rule of thumb to follow when deciding whether or not you should stress about the feedback on your lifts. Let me introduce you to the rule of 5. The first person whose opinion you should care about, the most important person, is your coach.
Yeah, buddy.
You hired a coach. There are 2 roles that your coach fulfills. The actual coaching part, where they tell you what to do, you do what they say. He sets up your program, he looks at your videos, he corrects your form. A good coach is going to positively impact you when it comes to muscle development and gains. The second, but probably more important thing that a coach will do for you is hold you accountable. A coach is not your friend. A coach is your coach. Your coach will tell you things that you don't like. If you squat high, the first person who will tell you is your coach. If you're not living up to the standards that your coach sets out for you, you are not progressing. If your coach isn't even watching your videos, not even spot checking your videos, letting you get away with bad standards in training, letting you get away with squatting high, getting your butt up off the bench, ramping your deadlifts, then your coach is not coaching you properly. The 2 things that your coach does for you, the coaching part where it assesses whether or not you're doing the lifts right, and the accountability that your coach provides for you, kind of go hand in hand, because if they're not doing one, they're not doing the other. You have to have an interaction with your coach in order for your coach to coach you. It's more than just writing a program, sending it out, and just hoping for the best. But that comes hand in hand, because if you're not communicating with your coach, they can't provide feedback. If you don't send coach a video, they can't watch a video. So they can't really assess whether or not you're actually doing things to their standards. At the end of the day, your coach is going to end up giving you a lot more feedback. Their opinion might be the most important opinion that you can give any credence to. The second person whose opinion should matter to you, at the end of the day, this person is the person you look up to the most in powerlifting, your quote-unquote deity or idol of powerlifting. And this could be Dan Bell, this could be John Hatt, Taylor Atwood, Heather Connor, Mariana Gasparian, Stacy Burr, these top-level lifters. Now, it might be a throwaway opinion, but it's an opinion that does have credence. They have the highest standards in the sport. You don't get to the top with bad standards. So if these people give their opinion, it is highly likely that the opinion should be taken with more confidence than the regular average Joe. The third person, or should I say group of people, whose opinion should matter on your lifts are the 3 people judging your lifts on the platform. If you go onto the platform and you squat high, they're the people who say whether or not your lift passes. They're the persons who say, you did not uphold the standards of this competition. Your lift does not count because it is not good. You cheated. Step aside, try again. These 3 people will be the most honest people with you because they don't even need words to express what you did wrong. You can ask them for, well, why did you red light this? And they say, well, your depth, you're this, you're this, you're this. So the 3 judges will provide more than just, you did a good job or you missed. Better luck next time. If you ask them questions, they're going to be able to answer. Was your depth good? Like, even if you get a good lift, was your depth borderline? Did they give you a pity pass or did you bury it? Is it a positive result from your training? Are your standards up to par with their standards? Because at the end of the day, their standards are the ones that you are lifting to. Different judges will have different standards. That's just the sport of powerlifting. We're all people. But if you're not lifting to those standards, the 3 head judges, those are the 3 most important opinions on the platform. Your judge, your coach can't wave away a judgment because, They thought it was good, so it should be good. If it's a red light, it's a red light. Your idol in powerlifting can't just be like, I know that it didn't count, but I say it does because I say so. They have a lot of power, but not that much power. It's the 3 judges in the chairs who say, that was a good lift, that was a bad lift. And even individually, they can't pass or fail a lift. It has to be multiple people telling you this was a good lift or this was a bad lift. The next is the 4th person, or thing whose opinion should matter to you is your training crew. But the 4th set of people who you should pay a lot of credence to are your training partners, the people who are in the trenches with you day in and day out. The people who are training with you, they're loading the bar, stripping the bar, going in between your sets, making sure that you're safe, that they're safe, that they see the consistency. They're an extra set of eyes on your lifting when you are competing. When you are training, you can't watch your own lifts while you're lifting. That's impossible. But your buddy definitely can. You don't always need spotters. So your training partner should make sure that, well, you're training, you got to be squatting to depth. You got to be benching with your butt on the bench. You got to not be ramping your deadlifts. You can't always tell that you're doing these things in training, but a training partner will be able to tell you, hey, this, and you've got cognitive biases against yourself. Even watching back on your videos, you're going to be like, well, this was a pretty good lift. But if you send it to your Instagram homie, your online training partners. I personally only have online training partners. I've got Shane Haller, Craig Foster, Dan Bell, Roman Denisyuk. These are all people that I'll send my videos to and be like, hey, I felt confident with this, but I need a second opinion on this. And they'll be like, well, the speed was good, but this was bad. Your training partners are a double-edged sword because they can do one of 2 things. They can hold you accountable, which means that you're going to progress, or they can enable you. You don't want to enable your homies. Telling your training partner that they're doing good, that they're squatting to depth when they're about 3 or 4 inches high is not good. That is a training partner that you don't want. You want a training partner that's going to be honest with you, tell you that you suck when you suck, tell you that you're good when you're good. The more often that they express whether or not you are doing a positive thing, that you are progressing, the more honesty and more reliable their opinion becomes to you, and the more weight that it gets. They can supersede your coach. If your coach isn't paying much attention, but your training partner says, hey, I've noticed in the past couple training sessions that you've kind of started squatting a little higher. You started bending forward on your squats and your hips are coming up. This, that, and another thing, you're going to be able to address it much faster than your coaches. You send a video to your coach, you get like a day, maybe 2, maybe 3 until they respond to you, because coaches, unless coaching is their only job, they only have a certain amount of time that they can address issues of your lifting and write your program and watch your videos and respond to your videos. They need time to be like, I need to produce positive feedback for this lifter so that they understand what I'm saying and make sure that it's not a one-off thing. It's a consistent issue that we need to address. Your training partner is going to be there with you. You squatted high one set, you haven't even sent the video to your coach yet, and they say, hey bro, you squatted high, we need to fix this. That's a good training partner. And that's someone whose opinion you should hold very dearly. The last person whose opinion should matter to you is yourself. Now, you shouldn't always trust yourself because there's a concept called cognitive bias where you are automatically going to assume that you're better than you actually are. Kind of hurts, but it's true. You go to an Overwatch lobby, your team sucks, you lose, but you carried the team, right? Everyone on your team sucks, not you. The other team was all really good. You were the best person on your team. In reality, the matchmaking algorithm is pretty good at determining whether or not you are at the level of the people that you're playing against. And chances are you're just as bad as the rest of your team that lost. This applies to lifting. Your speed on your squat was phenomenal, but you squatted high. Your deadlift felt really smooth, but your back was rounded. Your bench has been steadily getting better, but it hasn't. It's been getting faster, but your maximum potential on bench hasn't gotten any better. You're going to believe that you are better than you actually are. Your progress is going to be with rose-colored glasses. You're not going to be completely honest with yourself, so it's more important to pay attention to the other 4 people that I've mentioned than yourself. But notice, I haven't mentioned random strangers on the internet that you don't know outside of your idol. These are all people who are going to be close to you and observing your training regularly. You post a PR, a squat PR. Let's say it's more than Taylor Atwood, but you weigh more than Taylor Atwood, but you're not natty like Taylor Atwood. You're taller than Taylor Atwood. You're older than Taylor Atwood. You've got different shoes than Taylor Atwood. If it gets enough traction, eventually there's someone who's going to be like, yeah, but Taylor Atwood did it better. This doesn't count because I'm in this federation, you are not in this federation, and everything that in the federation that you do is not right. You don't want those opinions. You are going to get those opinions, but you don't want to give any weight to what those opinions stand for, because it's all bullshit. You are going to let someone that you've never met, that you will never meet, and even if you do meet, you will not recognize them. You're going to give them weight on your own consciousness to stress you out and to negatively impact the way that you grow, the way that you gain, that you train, you lift, you breathe, you recover. You're going to let someone you don't know give you a lot of weight on what their opinion is? No. Stick to the rule of 5. These 5 people are going to tell you what you need to know, what you are lacking on, if they're honest. Honestly, outside of these 5 people, no one else's opinion should matter on your lifting. You lift for yourself. It's not for the people that you'll never meet. It's not for the haters online. It's not for the trolls online. It's not even for your fans online. Does Tom Brady know that you're his fan? Does he care about your opinion? Then why should you care about some random stranger's opinion on the internet? You can't punch them in the face. They're a keyboard warrior. Patty out.